welcome to Financial Insider Weekly. I'm your host, Michael Gray, CPA. My guest today is attorney Jan Besson. Her law firm is Besson and Yarborough, and they are located in Los Altos. Okay, here in close to Silicon Valley, or I guess
Silicon Valley
they
still.
They sort of call it Silicon Valley up there. Anyway, gee, Jan, you're one of the earlier ones. I guess I should have spent a lot more time going over your stuff. But I'm trying to recall. You've been in law for a while now.
Oh my, yeah, I'm going on what? 15 years, 16
years. Okay, so 15 years.
I lose count. I'm having so much fun.
She and her husband have a practice, as I said, in Los Altos. Jan works mostly in the estate planning area, but she also does, related to it, because we're talking about seniors, Medi-Cal planning. And so today, that's what we're going to be talking about, is Medi-Cal. Oh, and also, you're a bear, isn't that right?
I am a bear.
Okay.
I am actually golden blue all the way.
Oh
I
my
went
gosh.
to Hastings as well.
Okay, so graduated from Hastings School of Law, and then also from UC Cal, Berkeley.
Right.
So, go Bears. Okay.
Go Bears.
And my son graduated from Berkeley, so I have a little prejudice there.
I'm a little torn between bears and ducks. I don't know.
Okay. Anyway, Jan and I are going to be talking about Medi-Cal benefits for long-term care today. Before we get started, though, I wanted to give a little caution or caveat, and that is that we're discussing this complex subject of Medi-Cal benefits in California. The rules vary. They call it Medicaid as the federal title, and so it may have different titles in different states as we do in California. And the rules can vary a little bit from state to state, and so just be aware of that. And so this is an introduction, and we hope it'll be part of a continuing conversation with your attorney that's familiar with these rules. And so the framing question that I have here is, okay, what if your spouse needs long-term care, and you either haven't provided for it with long-term care insurance, or the benefits are running out from your insurance? How can you protect your family's assets? So that's sort of what this is all about. And so, Jan, maybe you can tell us a little bit about what are Medi-Cal benefits and why are they important for providing for long-term care?
Well, I want to focus first on exactly what we're talking about
Okay.
here, because long-term care is a very broad scope term, and it could mean care in the home, private pay care in the home, private care in the home, private assisted living, board and care, and things other than skilled nursing facilities.
Okay.
And what we have to focus on is what we're talking about today is financing for skilled nursing residents,
Okay.
as opposed to any other kind of care, long-term care needs that one has.
Okay.
Because Medi-Cal, which is a partner program, federal and state, provides the residential costs of somebody who's residing in a skilled nursing facility. And that, whenever somebody has to enter along a skilled nursing facility, it's very traumatic, and
Yes.
it's the last thing you want to have happen. But sometimes it does, and you have to look at what are the resources available to you. And skilled nursing facilities can be very expensive.
Yes.
And but there are programs that can help you. Medi-Cal can help you. Medicare, if you come in through a hospital, 3-day stay in a hospital, Medicare may pick up the first 20 days, Medicare being the federal program that is an entitlement program that people over 65 have, 62, 65.
Right.
That may pick up a portion of it for the first 100 days, depending on your condition and how you entered. But if you don't have that, and you don't have long-term care insurance, and you don't have resources sufficient to provide for the cost of care, Medi-Cal will cover those costs. And it's important. Many people think of it as welfare, and it is administered through the social services program. However, it is available to all sorts of people, and you don't have to be destitute in the most common definition of being destitute. You can have resources. There are provisions to assure that the spouse at home who remains in the home will not be impoverished because of the residence of a loved one in a skilled nursing facility.
So, what you said is Medicare, if you come through, first you have to go to a regular hospital, then you go in and then you can get up to 100 days. But 100 days, when you're talking about long-term conditions, it's just...
And there are lots of conditions
Yeah.
on that. You have to be continuing to improve. You can't be in this declining state. Medi-Cal can actually cover custodial care. So if you have somebody in the home who needs care and you can't provide it in the home, and it is not a medical emergency or solely medical in nature, placement in a skilled nursing facility, Medi-Cal will also cover those kind of custodial needs.
Okay. And so, and you mentioned that you don't really have to be destitute to qualify. And no.
You do have to meet certain resource limitations. Medi-Cal takes a look at what people own, a couple own together.
Yes.
And they look at it, and it's a kind of interesting process that they go through. They take your property and they say, well, we let you have this and we don't even count the value. But we're going to count the value of this, this asset.
Okay.
And so they look at your property and they classify it as either being available to pay for care, or it's a protected asset in some way or other. And there are lots of assets that are protected that people don't realize don't count. For example, your principal residence. It can be of any value, at least currently in California. These laws are subject to change because you have the federal regulations that need to be adopted by California before they're implemented, and they haven't been adopted yet, the federal regulations. So we're still working under some pretty old regulations that allow you to keep your home of any value. And for purposes of qualifying for Medi-Cal benefits, it doesn't count. If you have retirement funds, they don't count. If you're the spouse who remains in the home, they're absolutely untouchable. If you're the spouse that needs to go into the facility, then you may have to be in payout mode in order to keep them non-countable.
Now, what do you mean by payout mode?
Well, generally, you have to draw on some portion of income and principal. But it can be minuscule if you're not already 71 and a half and taking your required minimum distributions from your retirement
IRA
funds.
or something like that.
Right.